One show that did a really good job with it, and you can voice your opinion on it as well. Schitt's Creek. I don't know if you've watched it or not.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they did a really good job with that, and then in how they portrayed everything, and I think it brought it to a really good light. I think. Um,
absolutely. Because it made
yeah.
a situation so relatable.
Yes,
Like we
it
all
just seemed
know,
natural.
totally. It seems
Yeah,
natural, a small town, and then, someone of a, previous status life, right? We love watching someone who has had everything in their life try to figure it out now, and how those dynamics come across with the community and how they accept and love each other. I thought it was brilliant.
Talent Talk is sponsored by Company of Rogues Actors Studio, New York-style training for actors at all stages of their journey. With our part-time classes and full-time masterclass program, Rogues provides a unique post-secondary option under the guidance of working professionals. Mentoring and developing professional film and theater artists since 1993, Calgary's longest-running independent studio offers practical hands-on classes in a positive, supportive environment. Check us out at corogues.com. Company of Rogues, passionate about the art of acting.
Hey everybody, I'm Gary McLean. You're watching Talent Talk. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please do go to the Talent Talk YouTube channel and subscribe today. As always, the support's appreciated. Also, to remind you that this and previous episodes are available on podcast mediums such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, it's probably there. Check it out. And finally, I need to give a little shout out to the sponsors that we have this year, our fifth season. This is the first year we've actually been able to bring on some sponsors, so I'm very excited about that. The first is Company of Rogues, which is a Calgary local acting studio. Then we have 6 Degrees Sound and Music, who actually does our audio engineering when we have in studio, in person sessions, which this is not one of them, but we love them nonetheless. We also have Workflow Film, who actually does the video recordings for those in-person, in-studio sessions. We have Heard of One Media. We have Counting Coup Indigenous Film Academy. And finally, we have ACTRA Alberta. So thank you to those guys for helping push us forward for the fifth season. Hopefully we can continue the trend for the next season to come. Now, today's guest, because that's why you're here. You're not here to listen to my blurb and all that crap. So today's guest was actually born in Greece, but they moved to Canada at a young age. Entertaining has always been in the blood, and since the age of 7, they have been involved in theater, working in film, and a wide range of productions, also with multiple filmmakers, photographers, that kind of thing. But to add to the repertoire, they also have a background in martial arts and dance. Their most recent role is on the Hallmark movie of the week, Hearts in the Game, as Jax. So without further ado, please let's welcome Donia Kash.
Oh, Gary, that's the best intro I've ever had. This is great.
Oh, awesome. Glad to hear it. Well, thanks for joining me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Where are you located right now as we speak?
At this very moment, I'm in Vancouver. I was literally just in New York, and now I'm back in Vancouver.
You said you were in New York, so what were you doing out in New York?
We were invited for the Glaad Awards on the weekend, and Glaad Awards is a nonprofit organization to amplify queer voices, but also help the community and the queer communities, especially in America, with all their laws that are happening in different states with trans laws. So this awards show happens yearly, and we were there for a film called The Holiday Sitter, directed by Ali Liebert and created by and the star Jonathan Bennett. So it was really amazing and inspiring to see people from politicians to documentary filmmakers to podcast reality TV stars to movie stars to directors to singers like Idina Menzel sang. It was great. It was such an inspiring event.
Nice. And just out of curiosity, do you have like photos and stuff? Like, did you take any footage or anything while you were there?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I totally took some photos of the atmosphere, the people, but yeah, I think I was a little too shy to ask people to take a photo with me that I didn't know.
Okay. And is it on your Instagram by chance?
I have one little reel on the Instagram.
Oops, that's the wrong one. All right. So, folks, if you want to see something about it, just check out the her Instagram there, Donia Kash. There you go.
Totally.
Um, no, that's amazing. And how long did that go for? How many days? Or was it
Just so it's for New York. It was just one day.
just one
They
day?
also do an award show in LA a couple months like earlier in the year. So they did LA, which is more, you know, TV series and more of that kind of genre and feature films. And then this was like more curated for animation, uh, cartoons, TV movies, podcasts, things like that.
Okay, cool. And just out of curiosity, like, do you find how are you finding the community right now when it does come to, say, non-binary actors or the LGBTQ community? Like, do you find it's getting better or?
Um, I find that it's a very important time in figuring out how the third genders fit into like I think you're meaning about film and TV and
Yes,
people
absolutely.
who are of a third gender trying to carve out their way in the industry. And I think it's really such an important time to be alive because you as a performer are already performing. Like it's not like no one's ever existed. It's not like we've never been here. We've always
Right.
been here. And now it's more so telling stories that we already know. Like everybody knows people fall in love. So now it's a different version of it. Or we all know what it feels like to have someone who cares about us. Now it's just a different version of it. Like it's telling these different stories. I find it fascinating. I love it. Um, yeah, I think it's really beautiful that filmmakers, artists, they are carving out ways for others to feel comfortable and instead of saying, okay, there's only these two categories and then that's it.
Right. I think one show that did a really good job with it, and you can voice your opinion on it as well, Schitt's Creek. I don't know if you've watched it or not.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they did a really good job with that, and then in how they portrayed everything, and I think it brought it to a really good light. I think. Um,
absolutely. Because it made
yeah.
a situation so relatable.
Yes.
You know, like we
It
all
just seemed
know.
natural.
Totally. It seems
Yeah.
natural, a small town, and then, you know, someone of a, you know, previous status life, right? We love watching someone who has had everything in their life try to figure it out now and how those dynamics come across with the community and how they accept and love each other. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I kind of missed the show, to be honest. I
Yeah,
haven't watched it
me
for a while.
too.
I've watched it like 3 times, so I think the entire series. Like my wife and I love it. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, no, amazing. Um, but have you found like have you found any roadblocks so far in your journey in film?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, like let alone people just, especially a lot of people growing up looked at me and they're like, what are you? You know, and I don't know about yourself, but I don't know if anyone's ever asked you, like, what are you?
I don't even know. So
Right. So it's like to have people ask you that and for them to just say, okay, I need you to make me feel comfortable. Right. And then I go, I'm a pretty good person. I don't know. I pay my taxes. You know, like
right.
I love the community. Like I'm like, what else? What else? I don't have a third arm. if that's what you're like. I don't have something else, but I don't know. I just think, especially for my journey, I'm really fortunate that people accept and like and actually appreciate the art that I put out. I think that's the best way to put it, because all of us are so different. I can't speak for another artist that might identify as the same as me, but it's really beautiful. And I really look forward to the day where people don't put, oh, you're a good non-binary actor. I would love for them to just be like, you're just a great actor. Like, you're just a great actor. That's it. Like, that's all I want to say. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the way it should be, honestly. And I do hope that one day we'll get there because, again, like you said, you think you're a decent person. I think you're a decent person. That's all that matters to me. It's like, as long as we get along, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just,
Yeah.
but,
And
and like you said, the art should not be differentiated by that by any means.
absolutely
The art
not.
is the art.
Mm-hmm.
We all do it. We all do it a little differently. Doesn't mean anything.
Absolutely. And, we've seen art for thousands of years, and how many people wore wigs, or how many people, got into costume. That's right. Costume. There's a reason why there's a costume department and hair and
Absolutely.
makeup. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to change gears a little bit. I do want to touch a little bit because you're, again, you're an actor, obviously, but you're
Sure.
not. That's not all you do. You actually did a little short film, I think it was, called "Catch Up with Me." Catch Up with Me, spelled like the ketchup you pour on your fries.
Exactly. It's a little
Yes.
messy, but it's a meet cute. It's about it's like a date, and it was inspired by me being frustrated that I grew up thinking that everything that I watched on the films and televisions and rom-coms, that's what dates were supposed to be like. That's how people fall in love. And then actually growing up into society and realizing absolutely not. It's not like that at all. Like, we are self-conscious. We are worried about our own insecurities. And basically it was inspired by that. And then having this meet cute with two people that could have prior history of maybe meeting, maybe not meeting before, maybe someone ran away, and they're having this date, and the date is so awkward, and it's so painfully awkward that you're like, why are these two people together at this moment, right? So yeah, it was fun. It was great. It was interesting to see what the audience took from it. Yeah.
And what was some of the feedback you got on it?
Some people said that it was very relatable to them. Some people said, like, I totally feel this way in a situation like this. Or some people thought it was really beautiful. Like, they thought the cinematography from our DP, Polly Pierce, she did a really beautiful job giving this glow of reality, but then there's another different reality happening between these two.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, so far, it's people, for my first time, they really like it. So I'm happy. I'm like, you stare at it for so many months and years, you're like, oh, great. This is why we do what we do.
Right? Exactly. Like I've done it many times as well. You stare at the same project for so long, you're just like, is this it really any good? I don't know.
You
And then
don't know.
people react to it, and you're like, okay, I guess it's okay,
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever the case is. But um, can people watch it
So
anywhere?
right now, I'm still in the festival route with it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm still putting out in festivals, and then I'll see what the best either platform to put it on, or share it with the public.
Nice. Okay. Keep me posted on that
Absolutely.
because I would like to see it for sure. Um, and how many hats did you wear that in terms of?
Oh,
Yeah.
so a friend of mine, Adrian Neblett, and I, we produced it. So I was producer,
Okay.
and I directed it. And we only had actually about 10 hours to shoot it. So yeah, probably 10 hours to shoot it. So I was like, you know what? Let's, like, the less actors, the better. So then I acted in it. And and then we just had a fabulous team helping us with lighting and makeup and hair and props and things like that. And then post production, I got some source, and I got a wonderful composer that helped us out as well. So 3. I think I'd like to say 3.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
that's still a lot of hats. I've done the same thing, and it can be difficult. I don't know about yourself, but I know I've worn like the writer hat, the producer hat, the actor hat, all in one. And sometimes I get too focused on the producer side, so then my acting lacks, and then vice versa. I'm so focused on the acting that I screw something up on the producing side, or whatever the
I
case.
know what you mean. If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't change anything. But if I had another opportunity for like another film, I'd say the next one I direct, I would just direct to see how that feels and just focus on what needs to be captured. Because I agree with you. Sometimes I'm in the editing suite and you're just like, oh, I wish I had this little snippet.
Yep, absolutely. No, that's amazing. Is this the first film you've kind of put into festivals, or have you put other
Yes.
ones in?
No,
Yeah.
this is my first time. This is my first time in a professional kind of setting. I've shot on an iPhone, and nothing wrong with iPhones, but I just shot on an iPhone, and it was for fun. It was just for fun.
Okay, that's even better, honestly.
Yeah,
Um, usually goes a little smoother, I think, if you're just having fun with it.
totally.
And 10 hours is not a lot of time. Like, I don't know how long it was at the end of the day, but
I begged this restaurant to close on a Saturday. Like, who does that? I did, but who does that?
filmmakers.
Filmmakers.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
We ask for favors a
that's
lot.
true. We do.
No, great. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing something on that for sure. Um, how long have you actually been acting for in overall, do you feel?
Oh, that's a hard question. I'm like, because before film and TV, I did quite a bit of theater when I went to theater school. And before that, like I did theater in high school and elementary school. But before, in like my youngest years, the first thing I've ever done would be a meat shop commercial. That was the first thing. And it was like the concept was I'm late for school and my teacher gets mad. Why are you late? And I say, my mom needed some meat. And
Okay.
I'm holding a meat basket. Like, yeah. So I
Sounds
don't
like
know
an
about,
interesting commercial.
yeah, I'm like, I hope I never have to see it ever come to life again. I hope no one finds it somewhere. I'm sure it's on a VHS somewhere. But yeah, obviously over 10 years, but it's sporadic between different mediums.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned in the intro there, you're originally from Greece, but you were quite young when you moved over, I believe, right?
Mhm.
Do you remember much about Greece, or?
I actually been back because my uncle lives there.
Okay.
So my parents are Persian, and they seeked refuge in the 80s. And so I've been back to Greece. I would love to go see my uncle again. It's been so long, and come on, the Greek oceans, the souvlaki, the people, the atmosphere. Who wouldn't want to go to Greece?
I would like to go. There's a lot of places over there that I'd like to go, though. So
Yeah, yeah, I highly recommend take your partner, go there, enjoy. I think it's so worth it.
nice. Um, have you done any filming there? Probably not, I'm guessing, but
No.
would you like to?
Oh, hands down. I would love to. I would love to do that.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. Have you been anywhere kind of exotic with your filmmaking so far?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think
me
so.
either. Me either.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed is I was kind of looking at your IMDb. and you've got a lot of really good credits on there. Um, Interestingly enough, you and I actually have kind of the same number of credits. Of course, you have
Oh,
uh, better projects, I would say. Mine are more independent, where you've done some more prolific ones. Um, but at the same
your
time,
yours is better.
no,
Oh
no,
yeah.
no. What I found interesting though is, like, for example, I don't know if you've ever looked at the IMDb ratings and stuff like that. You are currently ranked around 3,000,
Oh, great.
which is, yeah, I think is great. But what I found even more interesting when I kind of looked at it in more detail is last week you were like 900 and something. I was just like, wow, like you're in the elite echelon at that point. Like,
Do they send like gift baskets? Like,
they should, once
like
you break that mark. Yeah,
congratulations, you've broken the algorithms. Like, welcome.
absolutely. Yeah,
Welcome.
they totally should. All I can say is, like I said, you and I have the same number of credits, more or less, and I've been nowhere near that. So I think the best I've done is about 90,000 or something like that. So
That's pretty good.
anyway,
Some people, I know people who are like, I remember when I was first starting off, I think I was in the like 500,000 something, like
yeah,
just way up there.
yep. I mean, honestly, I don't think it really has any bearing or impact on anything, but it's an interesting thing to look at sometimes.
Absolutely. I think I should email them. I think everyone should get a gift basket
Right?
once.
You break the
Yeah.
1,000 mark, yeah, basket.
Yeah. Like an IMDb pin.
Yeah, you could do that, and then of course as you get higher, then you get bigger,
Yeah.
bigger gifts.
Yeah. Once you hit certain benchmarks, you just get better little gift baskets.
Absolutely. Yeah, starring role in a feature film. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you're practically there, aren't you? Um,
Oh, you're so kind. I'm like, wow, that would be cool. I'm like, that would be really awesome to be like, okay, I'm going to be doing this lead in a feature film, and it's an important project, and I'm excited. Like that would be amazing.
right? Well, I mean, that's kind of a good segue into oh my goodness, the title's escaping me. Hearts in the Game.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of one of your bigger roles, I believe, that you've had so far. Maybe you can tell
Sure
us a little
is.
bit about that and how it came to fruition and your actual role within the film.
So, Aaron Cahill, I will say, is the best leader that you could ever work with, because you're a filmmaker. You've worked with lots of people, and some people just come on, come do their work and then they just leave. Whereas Aaron Cahill respects everyone on screen and everyone off screen, and basically, from observation, I hope that I could take some of that and take that forward in my career. And playing Jax, her assistant, um, in this film, it was so easy because she made it easy to believe in her. Like, like I don't know if you've watched the film, but you want you want her to win, and as her friend, I want her to win because she just creates that all the time. And I think she just like mentioned that perhaps maybe it would be a good fit, and I auditioned for it. I met the director, Stacy, and we just was like a yes right away. And then right away, it's like, here, figure out how fast you can talk. And I'm like, okay, like, because Jack's a talker. Jax is fast.
Okay. And in contrast to you personally, how is that? Are you a
Not gonna
talker?
lie, I talk, but sometimes just really slow, and then I get lost in my thoughts like a cloud. But Jax is like, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, facts, oh my goodness, you're in love with him, you got to be with him, look at that, a cookie and this. And they're like, I love baseball. And they're just like, ping, 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 but everything makes sense. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how long were you filming for on that one?
So the filmmaking was 15 days. So I got to be 11 out of 15.
11 out of 15. Nice. Or 11 of the 15 days on set, which to me is, I mean, like I said, you're practically the star of the show anyway, right? So,
I all I will say is it was so heartwarming to have people reach out on social media, online, and watch the movie and say, I've watched it 5 times. I loved Jax. I really love what they did with the character. I love someone said something like, everybody needs a Jax in their life, and I think that's just so heartwarming that, when you're in it, you don't really think about what's going to happen next. And then you hear the audience's perspective and them loving it. And I'm like, that's so heartwarming. So beautiful.
Right? No, that's always good. Especially, so did you do any prep work for this character? Like, did you have to do any deep diving internally to bring this character out, or?
I was on the treadmill every day at 5 a.m. once it was a green light. And because I just knew that this character needed to be in their world, like they just needed to be, every scene that they're in, they know exactly where they live, and being on the treadmill and just going at it every single day until we started. And then also playing. So Stacy, our director, she had her vision and she had what she wanted to do, but then she was like, go, try something. Just go for it. Like, just go for it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you're like, all right, here we go. And then seeing that being in part of the film, like the final film, I'm like, yeah, like some of the stuff we didn't plan got in.
Nice. Yeah, that's always the best moment, right? It's like, I didn't mean for that to happen, but then they put it in anyway. And you're like, actually, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Or to give you that artistic freedom to be able to do that as well,
Loved it.
is always a plus.
Which is great because, shout out to Hallmark for bringing so many different elements, so many different characters. Like, I watched the film and I was crying because I loved some of the actors, like Sarah and Aaron and Marco and Jason and Bethany, and like we all kind of got to know each other. But then getting to see what they get to do in their worlds, a part of the film, and Hallmark being so gracious and letting it all happen, I'm like, oh, that was great. That was so it just gives you like the warm fuzzies.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, we are kind of wrapping up here soonly, but
Absolutely.
one thing I wanted to mention was that you're no stranger to the Hallmark scene. Like, you've done a few now, I think, right?
Slowly, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
slowly.
Slowly.
And has it generally been like the same crew and stuff that you've kind of worked with, or different, pretty
Um,
much?
Different, yeah. So I think same production company so far, same production company for all of them except for the Holiday Sitter. The Holiday Sitter was a different production company. And I actually give, a big hug and a huge thank you to Heather Hawthorne Doyle, because she was like, you need to come into my movie. And that was like the beginning of my world of Hallmark. And
Nice.
yeah, it was really beautiful because obviously, like we talked about earlier, for the longest time, because of the way I look, people don't understand, et cetera, et cetera. This was the first time they're like, we like it, we get it, get in. And I'm like, okay. And then after that, just auditioning to be a part of all these movies that we get to talk about joy. Who doesn't love talking about joy? Like, yeah.
Right?
Love,
Yeah,
family. I'll talk about all of that. You want me to love somebody? I'll love somebody. This is great.
absolutely. No, that's amazing. And right now, where can it be seen? Do you know, by chance?
Hearts in the Game. Okay, so we've got still on the W Network. We've got Hallmark Channel. I believe because you are in Calgary, I think also Stack TV. So people who have Stack TV on, I think it's on Amazon, right? So Stack TV has Amazon. And I'm sure there's, Peacock as well, the Peacock channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Well, great. Thank you so much for the
We
folks
did it,
watching.
Gary. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
We did
So
it.
for the folks watching, make sure you check it out and check out their Instagram. Be sure to check out Donia's works all over the place. Thank you so much, Donia, for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time and meeting me. That was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. And for everybody watching, we'll see you next time. Who knows who the guest will be, but we'll see you.